Now, today marks which is the 27th of February, marks World Non-Government Organization Day, which is celebrated annually. Now, this day seeks to recognize, celebrate and honor all non-governmental and non-profit organizations and the people behind them that contribute to the society all year round. In 2020, the South African Depression and Anxiety Group launched NPOwer in October 2020. It's a first-of-its-kind mental health support program that includes a 24-hour toll-free helpline to offer free mental health care and support to all NPOs in South Africa. We speak to the South African Depression and Anxiety Group spokesperson, Senzekile Shongwe, about this project. Senzekile, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. What does this day mean, and why support NGOs?
This day is a very important day. As you said, we are celebrating and we are just creating awareness on the beauty that NGOs do, NPOs do. If you look at it, NPOs play a huge role in assisting the government in terms of making sure that people are assisted in different kinds of ways, whether it's mental health, whether it is financially, whether it is through food or clothes or just essential needs. So we just want to highlight that this is a part of the country's functioning that is quite important, and we want people to know about it and people to know how to access NGOs should they need to.
And how does that process work as you offer the support and open up the lines of access? How does it work?
So for us, as SADC and NPOwer, our role is to provide support for the small NGOs that are in communities and the big NGOs that have established as well. What we do is that we provide for them a platform for them to be able to have support groups and speak to like-minded people and just be in conversation with those people about the challenges that they may be going through. We know that when you are part of an NGO, whether you are the founder or you're an employee or you're a volunteer, there's quite a lot of stress that comes with being part of an NGO. Firstly, being financial constraints, and secondly, being a lack of resources. So that is really, it implicates quite a lot psychologically. And SADC and NPOwer comes through to say that we are here to support you. If you want to talk, if you want us to discuss about how you can get more resources, that is our duty. We are the middlemen that trying to help you so that NGOs do not die, so that people that found NGOs, that work in NGOs, do not feel discouraged to continue to make a difference and to help other people.
The 24-hour toll-free line that has been open, I mean, how effective has that been in assisting and really showing support?
So with our toll-free line, we've helped over 4,000 people and 4,000 NGOs, that also go through these troubles and these stresses and anxiety around being part of an NGO. And with us having this helpline, we are actually saying that you can call a counselor to speak about the stresses that you are going through, the frustrations, the burnouts that you are going through in your NGO, free of charge, without any judgment. And if you need someone to facilitate some kind of assistance, there is this helpline to help you to just navigate and see different ways in which you can get the necessary assistance for you and for your NGO. So it is a toll-free line. Anyone that is part of an NGO or that has founded an NGO, whether it's for personal issues or for NGO-related issues, this helpline is there for that assistance.
How important is the role of NGOs in society, especially looking at the kind of atmosphere that South Africa finds itself in you know, suffering from COVID-19 effects and people losing jobs, and the issue of mental health really coming to the forefront?
NGOs are quite important. I cannot emphasize how important NGOs are, especially in small communities where there aren't any resources, because that is the role of NGOs. The role of NGOs is to assist our government into helping to develop our society in different ways, in ways in which the NGOs feel that it's what they're passionate about. But if you look at it, it plays quite a huge role in terms of the assistance of people that are on the ground, people that are middle class, and sometimes people that are out there that are making it big. So I think the role of an NGO is quite more important than we realize.
The topic of depression, mental health, stress, anxiety, those are words that have really come to the forefront, especially learning and listening into the lives of people like legendary actor Patrick Shy, and recently looking at the passing of musician, artist Ricky Rick. Speaking to something that is seriously concerning here, that society and the individuals within society may be drowning and the assistance doesn't seem close by. What sort of advice do you have for those who may find themselves going through a lot of mental thoughts, I mean, going through a lot of emotional aspects of their lives and not really feeling like they can reach out to someone?
Sure. I'd like to first clarify that there is assistance. I think a lot of times when I speak to people, I only realize that they do not know how to access their assistance. But in small communities, we've got government clinics that do facilitate the role of mental health facilitation that people just have to access. There's NGOs like SADC that offers that assistance that you just need to access. But I do also realize that it is difficult for someone to decide that, okay, now I am ready for that mental health assistance, to go through the mental health treatment. It is something that is very difficult because of the stigma that is still around. So I'd like to encourage people that they should initiate the help. If you see a loved one is not coping, hold their hand and say, you know what, we can get the necessary help. If you yourself are not coping, try to see around you who can support you in getting this mental health treatment and facilitation so that you can be better. With Ricky Rick's issue that has blown our minds away, especially in social media, where we see quite a lot of people confessing, people coming out and saying that they are struggling with their own mental health. It says that people are starting to see the importance of mental health, mental illnesses being something that is very prevalent in our country and in the whole world, really. So I'd like to encourage people to really step up and take care of their mental health. And people don't have to have a diagnosis. You don't have to feel depressed first before you start taking care of your mental health. It's something that we need to do on a day-to-day basis.
Mental health diagnosis is not as simplified as the word may sound, because there are many layers to how one may be feeling or how one may be processing their thoughts. I mean, I read a chilling note in the Sunday World now, which speaks to Ricky Rick, who said that he heard voices in his head, which points to some serious, layers of mental health. The diagnosis part of it, what are the steps that one needs to take should they feel that perhaps they are struggling to cope with the day-to-day life?
Sure. So for you to get a diagnosis, you need to have seen a mental health practitioner. That would be someone like a clinical social worker or a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist, even a general practitioner, right? So it needs you to be able to see the symptoms in yourself, and then to step up and go and approach these mental health practitioners. So what they would do is that they would do a screening and an assessment on your behalf. That assessment is quite short but very effective in noticing what you are struggling with, which then sees what your behaviors look like, how you think, how you feel as well, and then they are able to then decipher which diagnosis you have. And then after the diagnosis is given, then you are put on a treatment plan. A treatment plan could be you taking medication, it could be you going to therapy, or it could be both. But in essence, if people stay on their treatment plan and they do it properly, chances of them getting better and then living with a mental health related illness properly on their day-to-day life is quite high. It is higher than people who take time to get their diagnosis and people who do not adhere to their treatment.
And how far does your intervention go? As today we mark World NGO Day, as you have various people coming and calling on that 24-hour line, hoping to get help so that they can cope when assisting others in an NGO sort of system. How far does your help go? Do you offer diagnosis? Do you take it further to the next steps, depending on what problems you're hearing over the phone?
Sure. So again, when we speak to you over the phone, our duty is to contain you, right? So we contain you, we kind of analyze what issue are you currently having. Some people call in and all they need is to speak and to talk to someone, to talk to a counselor, and we provide that. But then in some instances, we talk to someone and we see that this person might have severe symptoms of a certain mental illness, where we then take it further and say to them, you know what? You may be struggling with a mental illness. However, we cannot diagnose you, but we do see the signs. We do see that you're not coping. And then we help to navigate a path in which they can get the necessary help. We look at their surroundings. Where are they based? Which mental health practitioners are around them, what they can afford, whether they should be going to the government clinic, whether they should facilitate through an NGO that offers that kind of help.
Absolutely.
And then after that, we just show them and provide them with mental health education on how the treatment plan would look like. So in essence, we provide quite a lot of information, containment, as well as counseling.
We're going to have to leave it there. Senzekile, thank you for your time. South African Depression and Anxiety Group spokesperson Senzekile Shongwe speaking about the significance of World NGO Day.